All right, we're here for our second match of the week, our feature matches for week one foundations. We got Miguel on one side, who is at a 2-1 record right now, up against Keelan T, who's 3-0 to start the league. He's been having some good performances in recent leagues. What's going on over in his hand over there?
Well, it's looking like we're black green, although we don't have any green sources yet, and we're throwing it away.
Okay,
So picked up a much worse hand, but with both colors in it. So
yeah, Keelan's been doing quite good. I believe he was rookie of the league, and he made the top eight in Bloomberg, and then had a pretty good run in Duskborn, and he was in rookie of the year. I remember, yeah. So and off to a decent start here
impressive start.
in week one. Um, for Miguel, he has green and white cards here. He might be playing a third color. We don't know yet, but ooh, he's drawn my boy, the helpful hunter. But he's got the Mossborn Hydra in hand. He's got a Dwynen's Elite, Luminous Rebuke, Make Your Move, Joust through. So three removals and a couple creatures. Have you played it all with the Mossborn Hydra, the one that doubles the counters on it every time you get a land come in?
Yeah, there's a few cards like that in the format that start really terrible and require a few things to happen before they become like passable cards. I feel like
Yeah.
it's in there, but it does get out of control super fast if your opponent doesn't have removal.
Yeah, I do think I like playing it on turn three though, rather than the helpful hunter, because you want to get that down as soon as possible. Because
Yeah,
the
that's
first two
probably right.
counters on it don't do all that much. They make it a 4/4, but after that it gets wild. But I
Well, the
guess
first one does almost nothing. The second set is pretty good.
yeah, this is
'Cause this is our last real playable card here.
yeah, Ambush
We
Wolf
got
is a
three
card
swamps.
I learned to respect on my second game of the pre-release when I attacked my 1/3 and then they threw in an Ambush Wolf and I said, okay, made a mental note. That's not going to happen to me again. But Miguel did have
Save
the
the cat.
Jouster here and doesn't really have anything else to do because he didn't draw his land. So it was, no harm done. But yeah, that was a mental note I made very early on. Like, I don't think
We're
we've
gonna
ever really
zombify.
had like a 3-mana 4/2 flash like that common. Like that's kind of unheard of.
Yeah,
We've had 3/2 flashes for three, but 4/2 is really big, and it has like a random extra
green those.
ability that's just very nice.
So this is our last spell cast over on this side of the table. All we have is swamps now,
Yeah, that was
threefold.
a liberal use of Zombify, but a seemingly necessary one. We got the opposite problem here, which is we got only spells in hand, and aside from the make your move and the Mossborn Hydra, we're not casting them. But yeah, make your move here could be okay. I mean, if Miguel knew that Keelan had just lands in hand, he's going to snap off that make your move and start attacking. But as it
Yep.
stands, he'll just
Oh no, we just hit another land. So we were at four lands in hand. It's a rogue's passage. So I guess at least it gets some novelty. But ooh, that is tough. Rogue's Passage was also in our original hand with a
okay.
swamp, so that running it over a forest meant that we had to toss that hand.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of Rogue's Passage in play. Like normally it's okay, but this set seems to have a lot more double symbol cards than in the past.
Yeah,
Like a lot more double green, double whatever, double blue. Like there seems to be just like a touch more of those than normal.
yeah.
So I think Rogue's Passage has got a little worse. It's already just like a medium card to start with, but a little worse than normal in this set. Do we? Okay, we have something other than a land.
We hit it. We got the spell.
Unfortunately, there is going to be some beatings going on here with the Felid Our Savior potentially coming down to put two counters.
Oh wow. Yeah. I guess those counters will get doubled on the Hydra too.
Yep.
But couldn't be played the other way because that was his fourth land that came down.
Okay, so he does have a treetop snare spinner which he could run. out here. Okay, he's just gonna do that rather than the Felidar
Uh,
Savior. Maybe he wants
oh,
to. Maybe he
hello.
wants to try and do Felidar Savior and then another land.
The treetop looks pretty good here, although I guess you're saying that he also has a couple of removal left in hand because we've got
He
a
has
high
a make
society
your
hunter
move.
coming in.
Oh, High Society Hunter. That's a great one. But he's drawn a Stroke of Midnight and he had a make your move already. So I think he's about ready to
The
make his
maker
move.
move, yeah, I guess you're gonna sack it to the hungry ghoul in response to that and pump the ghoul.
Yeah,
You'll still get the card draw that way off of the hunter because make your move is an exile, right? Or is it just a destroy?
it's a destroy. The Hunter doesn't trigger off itself though.
Oh, it doesn't.
No, it's whenever another non-token creature dies. Which I mean that card just the text on that is kind of unhinged as far as how many cards you can draw in like a
Yes,
late game combat. Right? He said I'm going to ignore this High Society Hunter for a turn to put counters on my stuff. I'm not sure if I love just ignoring that thing just to put counters on your other things.
I agree. Do you
I feel like I
block
kind of want to
here?
answer that thing and just be like, get that thing out of here. I don't want him to top a remove draw
Yeah.
card and maybe pull back in here.
Well, there's a world too where you hit something like a where you hit something like a sage and then you can draw multiple cards off it. Although I guess non-token for the high society hunter.
Yeah, it's non-token. You can't chain stuff too much, but I mean, just any type of normal combat will net you one or two cards easily.
Keelan is considering chumping here. It looks like that's what he's going to do.
I mean, it is a
Draw
card
a
dropper
card.
if he wants it.
Yeah, no, he pulled it off at the last second. Oh, hit another land. Unreal.
Yeah, that's probably going to be it. It's how many lines here? 10?
The Rogue's
Okay.
Passage can't even put the High Society Hunter through, right?
I mean, it could try, but it won't work. I mean, I'm not sure what he's playing around that he can't just make your move and attack all, but maybe he figures there's something in hand. He must figure there's something in Keelan's hand here, even though there's only one card.
Incorrect.
Yeah, because I mean, I think in most situations it's a pretty safe to just go make your move and just attack all. Like, there's no Etherize or anything.
We hit another land. We have a Llanowar Elves, but we're going to concede.
Land of Our Elves is basically a land, also, but it costs mana. Like at
Yes,
this point
yeah.
in the game, it's a land that costs mana, which is pretty cool.
Well, it draws a card when it dies, maybe.
But I will say it's nice to see some two-color decks here, or what appear to be two-color decks. In week one, you don't see that too often, but I guess the players have the requisite
Oh,
amount of cards.
there's a splash for two involuntary employments in here.
Huh?
A very, very small splash.
How many sack outlets does he have? You need a lot for that, but
Well, or just to steal something for lethal, right? But there's at least we saw at least two there. We saw the ghoul and we saw the high society hunter.
yeah, I've been defending my position on active treason effects all week, while multiple people are telling me to put them in my decks, and I don't.
In my first match of this league, I won by stealing my opponent's Dracuseth the turn it came down
Okay,
and swinging in for
cool.
me.
I just think the fail case of the card is just unacceptable enough that it's a risk. Like I've played it when
Yep.
it's like a dedicated, it's like tons of sack outlets and they're cheap or free. But just as like a card that you just run at the top end of like what appears to be an aggressive deck, like the games just don't play out like that often enough for me. But I see other people use it to great effect, and that's why this game is great.
Pretty easy to envision having five or six sack outlets even in your starting pool, given the state of black in this format.
Yeah, quite possible. What's going
Not
on for
not
Keelan's hand this game?
guaranteed. It's looking good. We've got all the colors covered. We've got four lands total, including the two that are out. And we've got a stab and a bite down and a vampire soul collar.
All right, so we got a Paradise
Unfortunately,
Druid
enough of that.
here, which is in that special guest slot. So
Oh yeah,
so it appears as a mythic, but this is an uncommon back from War of the Spark, very, very good one.
I,
Yeah, he's just
I
gonna run
love
out
that
this
card.
this 3/3 flyer here. This card's
Interesting. I would have thought we. I was gonna say I would have thought we would have stabbed it there, but
oh, the Paradise
I guess
Druid
we're saving
once it
the
got
stab.
tapped.
Hmm.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah,
So like thinking there
it
might be a
looks like he's saving the
removal.
stab for this.
Yeah, Miguel he opted to cast the 3/3 Angel instead of the 3/4 Angel of Finality. There's no graveyard anyway to exile now. Rest of his hand is two lands, a Grow from the Ashes, and a Luminous Rebuke. So he does have one more threat here and a removal and a bit of ramp, but you know he has a couple plays coming up in the next turns, but we'll need to draw something else to do. Okay, so not the stab then. Okay,
Yeah, I think that allows him to attack the stab here, right?
yeah, that makes sense. All right, so he's thinking about Grow from the Ashes, but I mean, I'm just playing the Angel Finale. I'm just putting pressure here. I don't see the
He
need.
can't play the Angel of Finality. He lost the mana dork, right? Although I guess
Well,
he
no,
runs out of land.
he could. It's turn four. He's gonna ramp for one, which is a little curious to me here. A little curious to like not just develop a Angel Finale, especially with the Felidar Savior in hand. Like you can ramp later. He has the four. He has four mana, which is what he needs to cast those cards. So yeah, interesting play there. Maybe he's playing around some sort of removal. Does Keelan have a sweeper that we know of? Maybe he looked at his pool and saw one. Because otherwise, I'm just always
I didn't
developing my
see
3/4
one.
angel.
I didn't see one in the brief sideboarding
Okay.
period. So we're just running out soul color for no value. We have a second
Oh
soul color
no.
in hand.
Have you played with this card at all?
Yep,
Okay.
it's okay. You can do some looping stuff. For example, if you have two vampire soul colors like we do right now.
Oh well, that's a card. We got an Exemplar of Light drawn for the turn. No life gain just
Oh,
yet, but he does have a Felidar Savior, which can gain life in a couple turns, but nothing quite yet. Yeah, the Vampire Soul Caller, just everything about it strikes me as like a card I don't want to play, but I know it's fine. It's just two toughness, five mana, can't block. Just feels like it has so many strikes against it, though getting a creature back is nice.
oh, interesting. Now we've got a hungry ghoul. We could, in theory, start looping vampire soul colors for almost no value.
Um,
There's that.
is that really a loop then?
Also, it is. Just,
So it's
is it
six
any good?
mana to put a counter on a creature. I think is what you're
Presumably,
describing.
we're going to attack holding up stab here, although there must be a little concern about the open mana.
He does have a luminous rebuke, but
Hmm.
nothing to impact combat in his favor this turn.
Well, the rebuke, if we stab
Yeah,
the Angel of Finality, then the rebuke will essentially negate that.
yeah. I mean that's the trouble with this soul collar, right? You're kind of like it's so small that like I know like it can't block. You kind of want to at least attack with it. But then if it's running into something bigger, that's rough. Yeah, this is not going to
This is
be.
going to get blown out
It's going
here.
to be not pretty. Yeah. Well, it doesn't necessarily going to be blown out because yeah, he could do this. Yeah,
Oh, smart.
yeah. So you
Yes.
could do it post combat. So that means he's giving up his soul collar because the soul collar would have lived through this through the angel getting stabbed, but he said I'm not going to test it. Oh, he's got all the angels here, does Miguel? So he's got an angel in play, an angel in the graveyard, a rare angel in hand, which is about to see play, and a mythic angel in hand, which is the herald,
Well,
the platinum angel card.
we get to soul color back our soul color.
Uh huh. Okay, so now you can fellow our savior and just really put the pressure on. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be tough to come back from.
Yeah, this is. I mean, flying. Turns out flying is good in this set.
It's
Yeah.
everywhere in this
I
set.
mean, back in the days in core set, white blue flyers was like consistently one of the better decks. I feel like they just have put so many reach creatures in the sets nowadays that flying has gone down and down and down, and maybe it's coming back again a little bit this set. There's not too much reach running around.
There it is.
I think it was either OTJ or MH3 where it was just like how many creatures had reach? Like all of them. Anyway, yeah, the Flyers get it done here for Miguel. So congratulations to him, and a bit of a short match, but we'll be back in a little bit with our final match of the week.